All right, guys. So today's Sunday, May 18th. So if you're seeing this, the Haas Project 2.0 is now available. It's on my website. It's a 39-page ebook with two separate programs. But actually, it's one program, but there's two versions, one with Olympic lifts, one without Olympic lifts. The program is 20 weeks long. For those of you who are wondering why it's so long, the reason it's 20 weeks long and not like your typical 8 to 10 to 12 week program is because in order for like an advanced trainee, someone with a high training age, in order for them to see like real body comp or like muscle tissue changes, it just has to be longer than 8 to 10 weeks. So that's why I made it so long. And I ran through this entire program myself. So I just want to give some reflections on it. I just want you to know, if you get the program, it may not look that overwhelming, or it may not look very hard on paper. The shit is hard. If you follow the intensity prescriptions and recommendations, and you truly perform the like high intensity sets of squats and deadlifts to the prescribed reps in reserve with the prescribed percentages, it is a hard program. You're not going to want to do any extra work. You're not going to want to do things on an off day. Speaking of off days, the split is a 4-day split of strength training with two conditioning days plus 1 day of sprinting and 1 day of plyos. And then Sundays, so the seventh day is just like optional, very light, steady state conditioning, steady state aerobic work, staying in zone 2 that day. That the other conditioning is there's one aerobic day and one anaerobic day. The other aerobic day, you can spend some time in zone 3. But anyways, the Haas Project 2 is out. 39-page ebook. The program is also available on Train Heroic, and that's going to be a little bit lower price than the program on my website, and that's because the Train Heroic version doesn't get the ebook. So if you just want the program, you can get it on Train Heroic. Right now I have it at $50. I might change that. I might make that higher or lower based on demand. So go ahead and get it if you're interested in it. I want to go over some just like reflections I had on bulking, gaining weight the last 5 months of my training. So I want to go over results quick. I got it pulled up on my computer here. So I finished with a PR squat of 620 pounds, which my previous best was 600, and I hit 600 back in, I think it was like October. So my squat went up 20 pounds, which is a really big jump for me. My squatting frequency in the program was 3 times per week. Well, 2 to 3 times per week, kind of based on the block and the variance that I chose. But yes, I went from 600 to 620. Bench press went from 405 to 422. Deadlift, now my pulling volume increased significantly, or my pulling frequency increased significantly. But my deadlift PR went from 735 to 760. So I live streamed that deadlift. So if you want to see that deadlift session, you can check it out on my YouTube channel. But my pulling volume and my pulling frequency significantly increased from 1, maybe 2 times per week to 2 times per week with some extra posterior chain work on top of that. So I was getting my posterior chain a frequency of like high intensity hard training 3 times per week. So I really think that's why my deadlift went up that much. My overhead press, I finished with the 300. I think I have all of these videos on YouTube, so if you want to see these numbers, you can see them on YouTube. Which 300 on an overhead press is not a PR. I've hit 315 before, but I hadn't touched anything over like 280 in past, I don't know, couple of years. So I'm pretty happy with that 300. I really would like to make 315 and not like that milestone. I'd really like to hit that one more time in my life. So maybe that's something I'll work on like next winter when I start to kind of want to bulk, add weight, really gain strength again. So yeah, so those are my like performance numbers. If anyone wants to like maintain their athleticism, do the sprinting, do the jumping, do the plyos that's in the program, but that's really not what this is for. The frequency of that stuff is pretty low. It's just 1 time per week. So anyways, moving on to the body comp results. So I'll put some of my Styku scanners up here. So I use the Styku 3D body scanner for my body comp. It has been validated. It is very reliable. It has a very high intra-class correlation and ICC score of 0.98, which is considered excellent. So it's not a DEXA, but it is like high reliability, high validity. It's not perfect, just like any sort of body comp evaluation method. In the beginning of the program, I went from 227 pounds to 237 pounds. So I gained 10 pounds. My body fat percentage went from 14.0 to 15.6. So I gained 10 pounds and 1.6% body fat. So, and it was about a 50-50 increase of lean mass and fat mass. So about 5 pounds of lean mass and 5 pounds of fat mass is what I gained throughout this training process, which I'm actually really happy about. So my FFMI increased from 27.94 to 28.62, which doesn't seem like a lot, but I mean, for someone with my genetics, my frame, my training age. All right, sorry about that, guys. Something popped up on my phone saying that I was like low on storage or something, so I had to go in and delete a bunch of shit. So yeah, my FFMI increased from 27.94 to 28.62, which I'm really happy about for someone with like my frame, my genetics, my background, my training history, my age. So all of that's really good. I'm really happy with all of my body comp changes. So that's kind of just like the results from the program. Reflections I have is that like, yeah, like I said, the program is really hard. You're gonna leave training sessions, a lot of the training sessions, just feeling absolutely drained. But I think I did a really good job. I'm just kind of giving myself some credit here. I think I did a really good job splitting up the training stress in a way that you're able to train hard, only take 1 day of recovery, and be ready to train hard again 48 hours later. So if you train hard on Monday, Wednesday, you're able to train hard again. And I think I just like distributed the training stress very, very effectively throughout the split. So, yeah, you're gonna feel kind of not like shit, but you're gonna feel drained. You're gonna feel tired. You're gonna feel a little bit sore the following days. It's a hard program. There's not that many sets. There's not that many exercises. Varying rep ranges, anywhere from sets of 1 to sets of 12 plus. Um, so yeah, like I said, it may not look like that hard on paper, but if you put the intensity into the sets, the intensity prescribed into the sets that you're supposed to be putting the intensity into at the percentages that I'm recommending, you should complete a set and then think to yourself like, wow, I really don't want to do another set, but if I absolutely have to, I can. That's kind of how you should feel. So I'll talk about my diet quick. Oh, as far as like meats, I ate so much chicken, so much turkey, so much beef. I fell in love with chicken and turkey. I've never eaten so much turkey and chicken in my entire life. The thing with chicken and turkey is, for years I've heard that it's like really hard to eat chicken all the time. Like eating chicken frequently, eating turkey frequently is really hard because it's just the same shit over and over. Dude, it is not at all. Smoke it, crock pot it, grill it, sear it. You can do all that kind of stuff, and then use like various dry rubs to enhance the flavor. And then cottage cheese, dude. All of these things are really cheap, by the way. You can get a whole chicken. I'll put a picture up on the screen. A whole chicken that you can just smoke for like $8. And then same with a turkey. You can get a big turkey breast for $8 to $10. Both of those things are going to provide anywhere, depending on how much you eat, 3, maybe 4 meals on the low end, up to like 6 or 7 meals, kind of depending on your size and how much you eat. But it provides a lot of food for you, very cheap. So you can do this on a budget for sure. As far as like the other meats, I ate a lot of beef, a lot of ground beef. Only thing with the ground beef is that can be kind of fattening. So I just like, you cook it all the way through and then you drain the fat as much as you can. Ate a little bit of pork, pork chops, try to get the lean ones, pork tenderloin, pork chops. Cottage cheese, dude. I never thought I would have eaten so much cottage cheese in my life. I hadn't eaten cottage cheese probably since I was like in elementary school, but I saw it at the grocery store. It's relatively cheap. You can get is it a pint? It's probably 2 pints of cottage cheese for like $5.99 at our grocery store in North Dakota, at least. And then I just put cottage cheese on everything. That became like my primary condiment for all of my meat, for beef, for pork, for chicken, for turkey. I would put cottage cheese. Simple way to get more protein, simple way to get more calories. It tastes good. Put it on everything. Put it on eggs, dude. Instead of using like fattening shredded cheese, put cottage cheese on eggs. Tastes really good. Yeah, really easy to eat, and it's cheap. So cottage cheese. There's like the carbs. I don't have that many carb sources that I really found. I don't know. I didn't have that many carb sources. I would use like whole grain breads, like English muffins. For eggs, I'd put, or like an English muffin. I would do like a toasted English muffin with some butter or some peanut butter for breakfast for like my waking meal. But yeah, whole grain breads, tortillas, buns. If we had burgers, all whole grain. Never got the white stuff. Never got like the floured stuff. Rice, obviously. and then baked potatoes and fruit. That was basically it for the carbs, because then you get some carbs with your shakes, with my greens powder. You get some sort of carbs if you use like barbecue sauce or ketchup, you get carbs there. And then if you had like a sports drink for your workout, you get carbs there too. So the carb sources weren't very much. Now, what's next? So I'm 237 pounds now. I want to get down to 230. So I want to lean out. So I want to like pursue this process of like body comp, changing my body comp, getting myself bigger, adding more muscle to my frame, and I want to lean out, drop some weight a little bit, and just like kind of see how aesthetically pleasing I can get. So I want to continue on this journey. I also want to get my dunking ability back, get my sprinting ability back. So I'm going to have to drop weight for that. I know that. So that's what this summer is going to consist of. A lot more like speed and power work, a lot more conditioning, a lot more Olympic lifting. I can't do all the Olympic lifts in my garage because I can't go overhead of my garage because my ceiling's too low. So I'm going to start snatching, start jerking, push pressing. All of the Olympic lift variants are going to come back more frequently. I'm probably going to do the Olympic lifts 4 days a week. My conditioning is probably going to ramp up a little bit, both in frequency, duration, and intensity, because I'm not necessarily trying to put on mass anymore. And then my sprinting volume, my sprinting frequency, my plyos, all that stuff is going to increase. I'm still going to strength train probably at the same frequency, but I'm not going to push the sets as hard as I was pushing in these past like 5 months. So that's the plan for my next phase of training, which I'm excited to start once I get home. I'm in Ohio right now for the Stray Dog Strength Performance Summit. I did a speaking engagement for them yesterday, so that's why I'm in this hotel here. It's like 6:30 in the morning. I'm just waiting for breakfast to open up. But anyways, that's the plan. And for anyone who has questions about the Haas project, put them in the comments here because I want to be able to answer them. I want people to have like the full context and detail. I can't give the program away for free, but if there's a question, like a relevant question you have about it that may be causing you to be hesitant for purchase, put them in the comments. I can answer questions in one of my training session videos. A really good process, a really fun experience for me. And I'm thinking like what I might do for the rest of my life, since I don't have access to being able to Olympic lift in my garage all year round, is I might just take the winters, like late fall, winter, early spring, while it's cold and snowy in North Dakota. I might just take that time to bulk up, get stronger, add on mass, and then late spring, summer, early fall, when the snow is gone and I can do stuff outside, to cut body weight and just kind of wave it like that. So, but I don't know. I'm 32 years old now. I'm realistic about like my athleticism kind of going away a little bit as I age. So if I kind of like lose my basketball performance, I'm kind of okay with that at this point. I still want to be able to dunk as long as I can, but if I'm not like moving around as athletically and quick and explosive on the basketball court in like a 5-on-5 setting, I'm still gonna be more explosive to like most of my peers if I go play in a tournament and stuff. But if I lose some of that, I think I'm okay with it at this point. As long as I can still dunk, as long as I can still self lob, throw the ball up and throw it down pretty hard, I'm pretty happy with that. So, any more like specific reflections you want me to go over, put them in the comments. I will be very open about it. So, but anyways, that's all I have for the video, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for following me along this journey. And like I said, if you want just the program, if you want just the program, you don't care about the ebook, go to Train Heroic. If you want the full ebook, go to my website. It's 39 pages of training takes plus Olympic lifting version of the program and a non-Olympic lifting version of the program. So you have two options there. So the Train Heroic version has Olympic lifts in it for anyone who's wondering about that. So that's it, guys. Thanks for watching.